Hello and welcome again to the Dansoft POS tutorials. We've covered most of the modules. We've looked at the contacts, where we looked at the customers, the suppliers, and all the other modules. We've looked at the user management module. So today we're going to look at the sell module. So we shall go right ahead and log into our system with our username and then the password. Okay, so inside our system, remember we've not made any sale, and our purchase is showing 0 because the system records on the dashboard. It shows you the data for that day. So if we went back 7 days, we should be able to see that we made some purchases, and we are still being demanded 85,000 from the Vine Pharmacy supplier. So today we're going to look at the sell module. The sell module goes hand in hand with the POS system, this POS part. So today let's look at making a sell. So we didn't test the account we created for Henry Katamba, so we shall also do a test in this video and then see what he can view, because we set him as a cashier. So but let's look at the categories in this module. So we have all the cells. All the cells looks at it looks at the all the cells together that have been made, including cells from different users, whether it is you who has logged in or any other users that have accounts on the system. It will list all their cells and then just assign them. We shall see after we've made a cell. So you can add a cell from here. You can choose maybe walk in, or you could type in the customer's name. Notice that this green gift icon, and it shows 0. That's because that person doesn't have any points yet attained from the sale they've made. This is not a must. You don't have to do it, but it's just an extra thing, a loyalty program you could set up for your customers. So I'll go back and look at Mama Joy. Set the customer. Remember, everything that has a star at the end is a required field. So Mama Joy, it will show us all the details. Remember, we didn't put any shipping details, so that's why most of these have not been looked at. So we shall look at the status of this cell that we are setting up. Is it the final one? Is it just a draft, or is it a quote or a pro forma? Now the final is you do this when you're making an actual sell, like you're selling at that very moment. The draft, maybe you want to save it and it goes under the drafts. A quotation, this is when you're sending a quote to your client to look at the prices of the products you have, and it's more related to the pro forma. The invoice scheme, you remember in settings where we set up the scheme, which arrangement do we want. So if set, you select it from here, the invoice number will be auto-generated. And then you can, if this sale is through a commission agent, then you can select that agent. Remember, we added these under the users, where we added the commission agents, and we added John and Fish. So in case this cell is attached to him, then we would add him so that he gets his 5% of this cell. After adding in the user, this we don't need because Mama J doesn't have an account with us. Payments to be paid for the purchases given time. This is you could use that part in case that person is going, there is a payment term that you've set up, and maybe you send him your products and then be like, you'll be paying us maybe 50,000 at the end of every month or every year or every week, depending on on what you state here. But we don't have any payment terms for Mama Joy, so we shall go right ahead and look at what we are selling here. Maybe let's say she's buying black charcoal, and then it will be populated. Remember, our system can show us the expiry date. That way we can be able to take note of the products we are selling, so that we don't sell any defective products to them. Maybe the about maybe let's say about 5 tablets. 5, yeah. So maybe Mama Joy has come and she's having some stomach problems, and then she buys black charcoal, and then maybe she buys also a painkiller, which is, yeah, I know, Diclo. Maybe she buys one strip. Yeah, so you remember when we were making the purchases, you can select whether you want to purchase tabs, all strips, all boxes from the units that we had said previously. That's the same thing when it comes to selling. You can select what you want to sell. Maybe she's buying a strip of Dicro, and then maybe she's just buying only those things, those two things. Then in case there's a discount, my pharmacist does not give any discount, so I'll just leave that to 0. She doesn't have any points to redeem yet, because payment is low, and I'm sure she's not going to earn any points. Okay, just to look at the point thing, let me increase the quantities of these. Let me say the 5 boxes. Maybe she's a a wholesaler. uh Increase this. Let's say she's buying 2 cartons of Daycro. Yeah, so that her total mounts up to 102,000. That way she will probably be able to attain some points if we set everything right from the settings. There are no taxes when it comes to her. The shipping address, no, we shall not be adding any shipping address. No, let's skip that. And then she's going to pay us cash. So if she's paying cash, that means that if she's paying all the money, let's say if she's paying us only 80,000, then she'll have a balance that we are demanding her of 22,000. It's right here. But in case she pays, let's say 150, then you have to give her change. Right? Then we can select the method we are giving her. The change through, it could be by check or by card, but for our case it's just cash. And yeah, she's not giving us much money. Okay, okay, we could let's say no, either way. Okay, she has given us 150. Yeah, let's just stick with this. So she has a balance of 48,000. Um, so I mean the change to return, not the balance. So we can just save and print if we have a printer attached to the system, or we can just save ourselves. So for this case, we have an issue somewhere. Let me see where. Right here. What's the status? This is the final. Yeah, it's the final. So we can save and print automatically. The printer will load up and then be able to print our document. Now this system supports all kinds of printers. So you can use a thermal printer, or you can just use the normal big printers. You can change the orientation however you want your invoices to look like, and then just go ahead and print. Now this is the digital one that it has created for her. You can actually share a digital receipt with your client. So that sale has been entered and the status is paid. we've given her change, so she doesn't demand us any amount. Let's say she needs a receipt, and I would want to maybe share a digital receipt to her. I could easily just create an invoice URL, and then this I can just copy and then share with her, maybe on WhatsApp or an email if she wants to look at the invoice. And then when she clicks on it, this is what she'll view. So she has bought black charcoal, 5 cartons. Each price is this is the total, and then dichromo, whatever it is, diclo. She has bought 2 cartons, and this was the price. So she gave us 150,000. We gave a change for that, and this is the total she has paid. Yeah, so, and this is our, now this is system generated, but you could set this exactly how you would like. So I'll close this, and then we head back to our system. So this is one way of entering the cell. It looks a bit too long and too big. So for your users or you yourself to quickly make cells, you could easily just go to the POS button. It will pull up the POS screen. So we shall go to our user, maybe still. Mama Joy, you realize that her points shares are about 100 points right now from the sale that she has just made, because we said if you make a sale that's above 50,000, for every 1,000 you'll be earning 1 point. And then her sales were up to 102,000, I think. That's how she managed to earn up to 100 points. Yeah, so, but remember we put a limit on the sales, I mean the points she can be able to redeem per sale. So let's go ahead and see. Now there are 2 ways you can add products to this cart. You can easily just click on the product and then oh, we sold all the 5 cartons of the black charcoal, so we don't have any left in stock, but we have other products. So if we look at, really? Did we sell the Metro too? I'm not sure, but we should check. Good thing we have the quinine still in stock. We have, but remember the quinine has variations. If you look at it, we have the 200 milligrams, these and these and these. So for most of these products, you can just click and then it populates here. Or there is a quicker way. Let's say if you want quinine, then I just search for the product, and then it will show me all the variations, and then plus the prices, because this part does not show you the prices. But here, let's say if a client came and they want to know the price of quinine, maybe the 200 milligrams, if I search, it will bring the results plus the prices, which is a good thing. I love the search box more than this, because this just shows you the names and maybe the variations, but it doesn't show you the as many details as this does, because it even shows you the tablets that are left for that particular product. So let's say she wanted the Nessa tab, then she wants the 300 milligrams of this. So when I click, it will be added to my cart, and then I can select what I want. Maybe let's say I want a box of this, and then yeah, I'll also need a carton. No, this one just need a box. So it will calculate my total, and then I can add more and more products to this. Maybe let's say she needs also some panado, yeah, panado extra. I could look at the expiry dates. They're all good, and then maybe this she just needs 1 box. Yeah, so that's my total. In case I want to activate her points or add a discount for her, so she has purchased 4 items. That's because we've said 2 boxes here, then one. Those are the 4 items. This is her total. So I can go ahead and add maybe a discount. So for the discount, I can choose whether it's a percentage or a fixed amount. I could say I would reduce for her 10,000. all. If it's a percentage, then I can say I'll reduce for you maybe 2%. But for this case, we're not looking at any of these, so we shall use her points. So remember, even though she has 100 points, we said for every sale, she can only redeem a maximum of 50 points. So let's see what 50 points can get her. 50 points can give her a discount of 10,000 as set from our settings. So even though she accumulated 100 points, she can only be able to spend 50 points per order she makes, because let's say, okay, even though the system is not going to allow us, she would be getting a discount of 20,000 with 100 points, but no, we put a limit. Even though you've accumulated, let me say, 1,000 points, 1,000 points could create a very huge discount. We can limit how much they can spend of every order. And then also there is we put a limit. Let me try to remove some products. Let me remove this one also. So let's try to apply a discount if her total is only 8,500, and see whether the system will allow us, because I remember we put a limit on also the order. The order should have at least a particular value for you to qualify to spend these points. So let me add, maybe she wants to spend 20 points, which you see, the system doesn't allow you. Minimum order total should be 50,000 to redeem the thank you points. Yeah, that's because we made sure that we cap how you're supposed to spend your points. So your order can only be 50,000 and above for you to qualify for the discount points. Because let's say if Mama Joy wanted to apply the thank you points on this order, that means that she could pay zero because she has a points. You get, because it's only 8,500. She has points that could redeem up to 20%. No, I mean to 20,000. So maybe she could get this product at zero. So we made sure that we cap that, so that she can only spend her points after she has made a purchase of 50,000 and above. So I'll add the Panado, and then it's already there, so it has increased. So I'll just add the quinine, and we had this, I'll say 2 cartons. Okay, we are only left with 1 carton. So the system will warn us because we don't have as much as we want to order. But since we've already closed the 50,000, I want us to apply the points, and then we see. So let's just consume all the 50 points that we have. But you can choose what you want to consume. Maybe I want to take only 5, so it will give you 2,000 off. But I'll just max them out and then update. So automatically, this is my total, but this is the fine I'm paying because I've been discounted using my points. There's no order tax, and there's no shipment required for this. Now let's look at this lower part. This lower part, I could choose to save this cell. You remember that part where we had the final, the draft, the quote, the performer. You could still do the same thing. You could add this order to the drafts, or it could be a quotation, or you could just suspend it. Now, suspending holds that order. Maybe the person has not confirmed, or they've left because they had an emergency, but that already you know that they want this order, or you're not sure that they want it, so you don't know whether you should delete it. So you can suspend it and say maybe customer left, and then you just save it. That way when she comes back, you can just pull back that order. So how do you bring back that order? You just go to the suspend button here. Let's see, it's this one here, I'm sure. Yeah, so it will show you all the suspended cells. So we only have one, so it gives you the reason, that short description that you gave. Customer left, the customer's Mama Joy, and these they issued 2 items, and this is the total shows about space. So I can populate my cart again. Maybe she has come back. So it shows that this she hasn't yet paid this money. And then, okay, let's look at the other thing. If she's going to take the products on credit, then she will, you just click credit sale. Automatically it will be added under the credit sales. That means that we shall be demanding her the money because she has not made any payments. If she's paying by card, then you can click card and then check out with the card. Mode for pay. Now this is what I want us to look at. If we click on mode for pay, it's going to show us okay, it's showing zero because I suspended the sale. Okay, and when you suspend the sale, the points are not activated. Sorry, let me see. Okay. When we suspended, it went to the payments that are due. Okay. When you suspend, it holds the sale, but it does not receive the payment. So you can easily just come here and make the payment. Yeah. But for this case, let me quickly make another sale so I can be able to show you the mode for pay. This time, let me just leave it to the walk-in. Then I'm going to sell the 200 milligrams and the Metro, which has a variation of weight. Let's rate it here and see. Since it has a variation, it should bring us several options. Okay, these two are out of stock. You remember I didn't add them. So we've added the black, I mean the white. Let me add the red. You can check the lot number. Remember, these ones we didn't add the expiry date because uh, there was a mistake we had made, and then we just went and just gave it the opening stock, so we don't know the actual expiry date, but that you can go back and set right. So let's say we're buying a carton of this and a box. Yeah, so if we go ahead and click on mode for pay, it will show us the amount we're supposed to pay. Now mode for pay looks at that part where a customer has maybe cash but they have less, maybe the amount is on their bank or their mobile money. So you don't chase somebody away, or you don't tell them to go and withdraw the money. You can, if your business can receive all kinds, then you can just go ahead and be like, okay, how much are you paying as cash? Then they say maybe 50,000. They need to show the balance here, which is 35,500. And then you add another row and be like, okay, the balance, how are you paying it? Maybe they're paying it by card. Then you enter the card details and then complete the payment, or check. Then the check number will be required, or bank transfer. Then the bank will be required. And still, if let's say maybe they're paying only 5,000, by that means you can still add another row and the balance can be paid another way. So it can allow you up to 10 rows of the payment methods that you would want. But for our case, let's say they're paying only by bank. Hold up, I want it to autofill it so that I get the amount right. So maybe they're paying the amount by okay, other means. And you can add these custom fields. You can add mobile money. Actually, there's something extra you could add. You could add the payment method and then the payment account. We've not yet looked at the accounts, but when they're set right, when we get to that part, I'll show you. I'll come back and show you how to set where the money goes exactly in the business, because you could receive cash and then there's some cash that goes to the safe, to the safe. There's some cash that goes maybe to the office. So you need to specify. The system looks at everywhere the money goes, like it traces all the monies in the business. So that we shall set up, and I'll show you how to do it when we get to the accounts part. That we shall have to go back to settings. Yeah, and then maybe if you selected cash, it could ask you where exactly is that cash. Then you could be like, maybe it's cash at office, cash maybe in the pocket, maybe it's cash in the safe. Yeah, so you could set those things, and that helps you like capture every source and where your money is kept and where how you spend the money within the system. So if with these payments, I can just go ahead and finalize this. Automatically it will load up the receipt to be printed, but for now we don't have a printer. So we've looked at the mode of pay, and then the other part is the cash. Maybe somebody is buying this, and then it is cash, like you've received the cash. You can just go ahead and click cash. Automatically the sale will be entered without going through any other procedures. You can cancel in case you want to cancel the sale, and then this is the total that will be payable. The total was here. Looks at the total. Oh, this was showing out of sale because the other two. That's why it is easier when you just type in. Remember that two that we did not set. We do not set the stock for these two, but we've also out stock this one. We are only left with 50 tabs of the red. So we've looked at all these lower parts. Yeah, we enabled the recent transactions. Maybe there's a transaction that you'd want to look at quickly. You could just go, maybe you want to print it. You made the transaction, but you didn't print. You can just click on the recent transactions, and then you can go ahead and maybe edit or delete those transactions. When we get to this upper part, we can, if your business makes those quick daily expenditures, you can be able to make the expenditures from the screen. It will ask you for the location where the expenditure is being made. If you set the categories of the expenditures, it could be maybe an office expenditure, maybe it could be an operations expenditure. So you create those categories for them. The reference is auto-generated. Then the expenditure, it's for which user. Maybe a particular user needed something, maybe to buy a pen, and then you use the business money. So you select the user to whom that expenditure is being made. That is not tax applicable. So you select the amount, and then the note about that expenditure. Maybe you could say Daniel needed a new pen. Yes, so you look at the amount that they've requested, and then you make the payment for that amount, and then you select how are you making the payment. Are you making it by cash? Is it a check? As long as depending on the accounts that you've set up in your business, how you make the payments. And then now this upper part looks at the person who is receiving the payment, and then this looks at the person who is making the payment. So you could add your own note to back up this, and then you just save the expenditure, so it will quickly be entered. We looked at the suspend button, and then this one is for the full screen in case you don't want to see those links and stuff, like for your accountant or the people who are working the business, they don't have to look at all the other things. So you could just set this to full screen. That way they will be seeing only this, because the job is just to make the sales. The other part is the sales return. In case there is a sales return, you just enter the invoice number, and then that sales return will be entered. The calculator, this is for the quick. Well, I'm not sure why this thing does not leave. It is supposed to. Okay, it's gone. The calculator is for the quick calculations that you might want to set up to calculate at that moment. And then the register details, these look at Those things take long to leave. This looks at the details of your register at that moment. How much money have you paid? It looks at the method of payment, and then the sale, and then the expenditure. In case we had said that expenditure, it would have listed it under expenditures depending on which account we've used. We can choose to remove these from the settings so that you leave only the payment methods that are applicable to your business. I remember we made um, a multiple pay and then set a payment method as other payments. That's why it's having this. We've not made any refunds so far. And then our total sales are this uh, for now. And then the total payments are this. Now this looks at the total um, for the day. For the day, remember we made multiple sales. We made at least 3 sales. Yeah. So the lower part looks at the products in details that have been sold, each product and the amount it has made, and then the total. So we know that we've sold a quantity of 352 tablets, and then we look at the products sold by brand. We didn't set up any brands for us, and then this is the user and the location, and then you can print this register anytime you want. And now this looks at the register details, but this looks at the 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 register clause. Now, one thing I forgot, I remember in a previous video, I don't remember which it was, but we opened the register. So I'm going to go back and show you how that happens, because when you open it just brought us to this post screen, but it's supposed to first request you to open the register. So when we are closing the register, maybe the day has ended. So this is how we balance. So there's a part where in our settings where we looked at, let me see. Okay, let me quickly go back to show this clear to you. Let me see. Yeah, I don't need this cell, so I can cancel it out. So if we go back to our settings, oh, sorry. Man. Okay, settings. I think it was where. Let's look at the business settings. Then we look at the POS. There's a part where they were talking about. We could set the shortcuts to quickly access to quickly make our sales. Enable what you want to see. You can disable the multiple pay. These are the things that we've been looking at there. You can add and remove whatever you want, but I'm looking for something specific. Where was it? Oh, I saw it somewhere. I just can't remember where it is now. This is where you set the custom fields. Remember the parts. So you can say maybe, no, this is for the contact. Label for users, label for purchases. You just look for where you need that thing, and then I just set it. Let me see. Okay, these are too many settings. I can't seem to remember where I saw it, but we had it. Where you set the nominations. I can't find it, but it's there. We looked at it sometime. If you've gone through, oh, it's right here. So these denominations, we can you look at the amounts that you receive for. It's under payment. So let's say the smallest we have here is 50. Then we have 100. Then we have I'm looking at the coins that we have. We have 200, but all those little ones we normally don't have them. Let me start from 100 and then 200. Then the next one is 500. We have 1000. We have 2000. Okay, we have 2000. Then we have 5,000, we have 10,000, and we have 20,000, and we have 50,000. Now those are the notes that we have. Enable cash denomination payment method. Well. Okay, let me just set this so that we go back to our post screen and then close our register. So I'll go to our post screen. It's okay if, as long as you're still within that same day, the cash register will be open. Actually, you need to close it. So this is what we had, and then now this time we've set our denominations right. Now this is the part where you're balancing the money. Maybe your day has ended, and then they've showed you the total that is supposed to be in your counter. So you start listing. You'll be like, okay, how many 50,000 notes do I have? Then you'll be like, okay, those are two, so that's 100 already. And then you'll be like, okay, how many? Maybe 20,000. Maybe you have one. Let me just say two. So the 20,000 must mounts up to 40. You get. So you just go on setting the denominations that you have for your register. So that means that the actual cash that the system is showing should be the actual money that you have in your system. I mean, in your drawer. So it looks at uh, how much cash you're supposed to have, and then start counting that money. It helps you count. You'll be like, okay, there are 50 notes. 50,000, there are only two notes, there are 20. So it doesn't matter which currency you have, you just set what you want to view there, and then you add a note for you to close your day off, and then just be like, okay, this what I've entered is not right, but I'll close my register just for the sake. Now with my register closed, it's waiting for the next day, and the next day it will ask me for how much is in the safe before you open the day. Now this is the part that we had skipped because we had done it earlier in an earlier video, and I forgot to close. So um, every time somebody opens for the cashiers, every time they open a new day, it asks them how much cash they have at hand. You get? So it's just to calculate the money in the safe from the money it found there. So you could say, well, I've started my day in the safe. I found 20,000. So when I open my register will have 20,000. It will keep the 20,000. Then it knows whatever I make when it gets to time of closing, it will show me the list and be like a cash at hand. When they open, it was 20,000. Then it will start computing from that. So the total cash it expects in the system, like the total, including the sales that I've made that day, it will be the total cash that will be here. Yeah, so we've looked at the POS, this the closing, then this takes you back uh, from outside the POS screen. So you could look at this all the cells. You could add all the cells. Now the post list is the same as all cells, but this one only looks at the cells that you've made through the post system, the other part that we've been at. But if I click on all cells, it will show me like generally all the cells of every part generally. So when I look at this, it includes this cell that was not made through the POS system. But if I want only those that have been made through the POS, then it will remove that cell because it wasn't made through the POS. Now when I look at the POS itself, now this is just a shortcut from the one on top. It's the same as this one. We've already looked at that. The drafts, we've seen that in case you just want to make a sale and then just keep it in the system, it's not going to affect the money in any way. Maybe you're just testing for somebody, then you could just keep it under drafts. You can enable and disable these things through the settings in case you don't need them. The quotation, we know what a quotation is, so this is where you create it from. It's more like creating a cell, but it's not actually a cell, and its values do not affect the money at all. That's why there is nowhere that they ask you to make the payment. This is because it's a document that you create to send to maybe your customer to look at the prices that you have. Then you can, this is where you find the ones that you've created, the list of the sales returns. We know that when we're looking at the posts, there were sale returns. So this is where you view them from. If you don't want to do it from the post screen, maybe you're an admin, then you can just come here and then create a sales return. So when you create a sales return, maybe somebody has returned a product, so that money has to be affected because it will be money flowing out of the business, but the product has been the quantity of the products will increase in the business, but the money will reduce because you're paying back the money and then the product is being added back to the business. So this is where you look at all the returns, the shipments. In case you added a shipment maybe to your product, this is where you look at all the shipments. You can filter them depending on the business you have, the status, maybe um, somebody has not paid fully the shipment, costs, the status of the shipments, which shipments are still on the way, for which customer you get, and then also the range, the period. We could set a customer range and then be like, well, I want from January maybe to April, and then it will list all of them for you. The discounts, this lists all the discounts that you've um, the discounts that are the preset discounts that you would want to give to your customers. Maybe there's a promotion that you want to set up, and then you'll be like, this discount will be called Black Friday. And then which products would you want to apply this discount to? Then I could say maybe the black charcoal, if it's still in stock. I'll add it to the black charcoal, then I'll add it maybe to the metro. Um, and then you can list all kinds of products that you want that offer to affect. Then you could select the location if you have multiple locations. Is priority, like, is it uh, discount with higher priority have higher weightage over priority? Or you could set the priority, maybe it's a low priority or high priority. Then the discount type, which one are you going to give? Are you going to give a percentage? You could say maybe I'm giving discounts of up to 70%, and then to be from maybe today to maybe the end of the week. So which group would you love to which selling group? We haven't yet looked at the selling groups. And then you could apply in customer groups. Remember, if you've created customer groups, you could select which group you want to affect, or just to all the customers. You make it active or inactive, it depends to you. Let me set this as low, the priority. Yep. Okay, you could set it in numbers. So the higher the number, the higher the priority. I'll just set this to 1, and then I'll just save. So you could create multiple, like thousands of discounts, and then you can just activate them, um, and then set the priority for them. So when I'm selling, let's say the black charcoal, I don't know whether we have black charcoal still in stock. No, it's out of stock. The metro, did I apply the metro? I don't remember that I applied. Okay, most of these products we've used them in examples and have affected them. I don't know whether this one is the right one that we apply the discount to. I don't think so, because it's active, so it would have applied the discount automatically. Yeah, but basically you select the products, and for that period of time all those products will be discounted with this, and then you can easily deactivate all, or you can if I selected it, I can just say deactivate the selected. So um, this promotion will not be active, but you can easily just reactivate. If you don't want it completely, then you can just delete it out. Importing sales is simple. You just download a template, feed in the information as expected, and then upload, and then you review. Yeah, so basically that's everything to do with the sales. A quick go through, you can look at all the cells here, and then they will be assigned the the person the person will be assigned to this. And by the way, if you made maybe if you made a credit sale, it will be marked as due. And let's make another quick sale here. I love using this part because you get to know the quantities you have left. Which product? Let's look at the diclo. So for the diclo, we could let's say this person has bought let me choose the bigger quantity. They bought okay, let's say 2 cartons, and then they've not paid all the amount. Maybe they've just paid 15,000, and they've paid it by cash, so they have a balance of 5,000. So when I go, oh, I set a limit. Okay, let me see. What did I set? I don't remember the limit I set. But I set the limit to be 0, so we cannot sell anything. We are not allowed to sell anything on credit. But if you went to settings, you can where let me see, contacts, then we can set a limit and say maybe we can give up to 50,000, I hope. So if we went back to our POS, and then what were we selling? Diclo, and then we said we're selling carton, maybe 2 cartons, and then we came to motor pay, and then this person is only paying 15,000. So when they try to make the payment, wow, why did I set this? What's the limit? The limit is set to 0. Okay, well, we're going to figure out this thing together. Let me see. We go to settings. Which part? We set the limit. Where did we set the limit? Okay, default credit limit. Okay, here's the thing. By default, we're using the working customer, and then the system by default for the working customer, it says the credit limit to 0. That's why we've been getting that error. So if we went back to our POS system, let's change this to Mama Joy, and then Mama Joy, we're still demanding her, but let's give her another product, and this time we are selling the Dayclo, about 3 cartons. We have that. Let me set it to 2, and let's say she's making a payment, but this time she's giving us only 10,000. So she has a balance of this. So if we finalize our sale, enter, and then it will show us that she has paid a total. The total she's supposed to pay is 17,000, but she has paid 10,000, and she has a balance of 7,000. So if we went to our total sales, we shall have three colors this time. So we have this that shows that it's paid, that is in green. Due is somebody who has taken completely on credit. So, and then we have the partial. The partial is somebody who has a balance. So For this case, this person, the total amount they were supposed to pay was 17,000. Then they paid 10,000, so they have a balance of 7,000, and they were worked on by this person. And then on this date, this time, um, this person did not completely pay at all. So this is the total they were supposed to pay. They didn't pay. That's why it's set to due. Yeah. So when somebody, let's say, Mama Joy comes and then she's making a payment, I just go and click. I just go right here and click in it. Or I can come here and click on where add payment. It will take me to this, and then the amount she has as a balance. I select the method she's using to pay, and then I just click pay. If she's paying partial still, then I can just say she has paid 3K, and then so it will leave it to partial, but the amount will change from 7,000 to maybe 4,000. Yeah, so total that has been paid is 17. I mean, total to be paid 17. Total paid now is 13,000, and then the balance is now 4,000. Now, still this time we went and clicked on add payment. We can just go and click in these things, these icons right here. Then it will give us this pop-up. We just say add payment. Same thing, it will show us the balance. You select which method you're paying by. So it is cash. I can just say save. So automatically this person has cleared all. So the account will go to paid. All has been paid. Still, I can click here, and then I can look at all the payments that have been made, all the partial payments that have been made always. If I click in it, this whole thing, it will show me the complete details, who edited the account, at what time you get, and then I can quickly just look at the receipt. I can look at the receipt or even print it out. Now this is the parking receipt, and then I could also look at the invoice receipt in case I wanted. um, so let's say this person has completed their payments. Let me add a payment, and then they're paying cash the 4,000, so they've cleared. Okay, so we don't have any dates, even though we didn't check the dashboard, but it would have showed at the on the dashboard. So in case I went and looked at the invoice URL for this person, it will show me all the details, the partial payments they've made. That on this date they made a partial payment by cash. You get, so the person gets a receipt showing all the breakdown of the payments they've been making for that product. It doesn't just show you the total, but it shows you every time you've been making the payments and on which date, so you can keep track and look at how good or bad you're making your payments to the business. So I'd promised to look at the cashier screen. So I'll log out my account, and then the one we had created, Henry K, plus the password. Okay, let's log in and see the cashier screen. So by default, since we disabled so many things when in the settings, in the roles, so they don't need most of the features. They only get what you've allowed them to. So by default, it pushes them to the POS screen. So that's why immediately they log in, so their day has started, they put in the cash they're starting with. Maybe they're starting with 0. So I open the register. Now this is Henry. This is what Henry sees. So all they will be seeing is the POS screen. So they can be able to make payments. I don't know which ones we don't have in stock, so I'll just type, let's say Metro. Metro we still have some tabs. Okay, and then we have what else haven't we sold? I think also Diclo we have. Okay, so let's say if Henry has made this sale, maybe still to our only customer that we have, and Henry does not have access to this client. Yep. Remember, in the settings we said that Henry should work on only his clients, and Mama Joy was not assigned to him, so he doesn't have access to that client. That's why he doesn't get any results. So Henry could go ahead and create their own results. So this, and we also limited, he cannot create customers. Those are so many barriers we created for him, so he can only register walk-ins, but those could all be edited in the settings. So let's just go ahead and have the walk-in. In case Henry has maybe the sale he's making has a commission agent who has brought it, then he'll be able to select him. That way that person will get the 10%. Let me see if I increase this. Okay, we still have, let me sell a carton. We only have one. Okay, then I'll just sell a box. So maybe they've paid by cash, so I'll just quickly set this cell. So this is Henry's cell that he has entered, but there was a commission agent also as part of it. I'll exit the full screen and then get out of here. So okay, the way we set up these things, you can be able to view all the post sales. Let's see if we can be able to view all the cells. I don't know whether we enable that, but all are post cells anyways. But he doesn't have the permission to look at all the cells. So we enabled all post cells, but we could say he should be able to only see his cells, but we enabled all. So all cells that go through the post, he can be able to see. So let's log back into the admin account. Okay. So from the admin account, we can be able to see the amounts that we've made on that day. So the total sales we have are these, the net. Now the net looks at the total sales minus the invoices that are due and the expenditures that have been made. And also maybe, yeah, the people who are the invoices that are due. So in case we made a sale and somebody's still on partial, we hurry to make the payments, we would have seen this. It will show the amounts that we don't have yet. So this would be the net, like the exact money that's in the business. This looks at the total, the money in the business, like the cash that's available in the business, including the invoices that are out or the people we're still demanding. So if I went and looked at the sales, and then I click on all sales, it should be able to list for me all sales for the suppliers. I mean, for all the employees. So if I look on the side here, I know that this sale was made by Henry Katamba. It was a walk-in. These are the details of the sale. So it was the final, the invoice was in the final stage, and then it was a walk-in. Yeah, so I can monitor every time anyone enters a cell. Since the system is online, it immediately reflects in the admin account. So I can be able to filter out and be like, okay, I want only cells that are walk-ins. I want only sales that are from a particular customer, how have they supported us. Only sales from this business. Okay, I want to look at only Katamba's sales. So Katamba has sold but has not sold to Joy. So I'll say all in case I want to see all. So I can add multiple filters. The payment statuses, I can look at all the partial payments that we have in the business. And then I can be like, okay, I want all partial payments that are by a particular person. I want to see all payments that are due by this person. Yeah, so you can look at the shipping statuses, And also the range, you can say, you can be like, okay, I want everything for this month, then it will throw you everything by this person for this month. Or you can, since there are no sales that are due, you can just look at you can select a month or a year or a specific time. You could say, you know, I want maybe from this date to this very date, so that it shows you all the sales that are made on that particular date, which is the same date that we're on. What else haven't we looked at? The part I never want to go here because we're not yet here. Okay. Yeah. So that's what we had to learn about the sales at the moment. Um, we shall. I'll see you again next time, the next video. Yeah, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment or contact us. Okay, and don't forget to subscribe and like the video if you felt it was useful. I'm not going to edit out anything, so any mistakes, I want this to be super transparent, and we learn together. So you can like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for notifications every time we upload any kind of video. Thank you. Bye.